And welcome to another edition of This Week in the USHL. Bernie Corbett, Paul McNamara, and joined here right off the top by Brian Werger, the USHL's Director of Communications. Brian, another busy week in the USHL and a number of players honored this week, and you can talk about them right off the top.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Someone we just had in the show last week, and his name keeps popping up. Jimmy Mullen was our Offensive Player of the Week, the CCM Offensive Player of the Week. He came back from helping the U.S. win gold at the World Junior A Challenge, and came back to help his Fargo team snap a losing streak. So I know his coach and his teammates are happy to see him come back. Jake McCabe from Team USA was the CCM Defensive Player of the Week. He also came back from international competition to help the U.S. under-18 team win gold at the Four Nations. And then goaltender Kevin Murdoch, Lincoln Stars, was the Reebok Goaltender of the Week. And he's been a big part of the recent winning streak for the Lincoln Stars. So they're rolling right now, and they owe a lot of that to Kevin Murdoch.
Yeah, a quarter of a way through the season, and the Lincoln Stars are a hot topic. And a hot topic among individuals is Jason Megner of Cedar Rapids of a 13-game scoring streak.
Yeah, it's a lot of times you don't like to talk about streaks. You never want to jinx anybody, but I've talked about it a couple weeks in a row now, and he just keeps on scoring. So it's a pretty impressive streak. He's been a big part of the success there. Cedar Rapids is the top team, best record in the USHL right now, and Jason's been a huge part of that, and he just keeps scoring goals. And they've got a lot of players that are playing really well, but Jason's been a huge part of the success there in Cedar Rapids.
Brian, Director of Communications, Brian Werger. Tell us about the big weekend this weekend upcoming in the USHL. There's a holiday, obviously, but there's some goings-on. There's a Thanksgiving tradition, Cedar Rapids and Waterloo. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's even with the holiday coming up, it's a big week and weekend for the USHL. There's 21 games on the slate, so it's going to be busy in USHL cities. And like you alluded to, the Cedar Rapids Waterloo, it's been a tradition on Thanksgiving for several years now, and they'll pack the house up there in Waterloo. They'll have their cowbells ringing. It's quite a rivalry. Those teams are just down the road from each other. Been big rivals for years, and people will get stuffed full on Thanksgiving and have an opportunity to go catch some games. And Sioux Falls also plays at Omaha, and Lincoln is at Sioux City, so it's 3 games there even on Thanksgiving, and then into the weekend there's several games as well.
Sort of like football tradition in some other parts of the country, Thanksgiving Day games.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a lot of fun. Teams the organizations have done a good job to promote these events, and they've been very highly attended games, and they've really built some nice traditions in specific markets.
And with being Thanksgiving, obviously the kids are off school for the weekend. But some of these kids, it's their first or maybe second year away from home for the holiday, and face it, some of these kids are still young, middle teenagers. They're not grown men, and they got to miss being with their families. I suppose some of them might have the opportunity to see their families if they come in for the weekend, and they probably start a new tradition celebrating Thanksgiving with some of the families they're living with.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing we probably don't talk about enough is how welcoming not only the USHL organizations are, but the billet families that are in each of those cities. Those people really welcome these players in, and they'll be sitting at the dinner tables with them, having Thanksgiving dinner. And I know a lot of the teams will have team functions as well. So we talk a lot about hockey, but it's a real family atmosphere too, and a lot of credit goes to those teams and those billet families to make these players welcome. Some of them are hundreds and thousands of miles away from their families, so if their families can't come and watch them, they've got their new family there with them to enjoy the holiday.
I give a tremendous amount of credit for the social aspect, the cultural aspect of it, and the fact that these families welcome them on every level and give them an opportunity to spend a holiday away from home, give them really a home away from home at a time where they particularly need it, and that's very significant when you talk about the overall culture of the league and how that's been fostered.
Absolutely. We talk a lot about hockey development, but what's as important to us is developing good people, and this is all a part of it. You're developing really good young men off the ice, and putting them in environments like this are really helping along with that development and getting them ready for for the next level, not only in hockey, but for the next just step in their lives and their careers.
Well, Brian, thanks very much, and we appreciate having the opportunity to work with you, and many more opportunities to come here as we wind through the USHL season, and wish you a very happy Thanksgiving holiday to you and everybody in the USHL office.
You bet. I appreciate it, guys. Have a good holidays, and we'll
Happy
catch up with you
Thanksgiving,
very soon.
Brian. Yep, thanks.
Brian Werger, the USHL's Director of Communications, leading off on This Week in the USHL.